Hello. 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 Any of those sound particularly good to you? Probably not. Anyway, how's it going, you guys? It's Zach Ecstatic here, and on this fantabulous Monday, I'm here to talk to you about how to get really good at stuff. It really doesn't matter what kind of stuff it is. It can be like basketball or football or playing a musical instrument or talking to people or flirting or like getting really good at gardening or picking flowers or finding gold. I don't know. The truth is, it doesn't really matter what you're trying to get good at, because when it comes down to it, it's all in the same mental processes. Like in your brain, you have to be doing kind of the same thing no matter what it is that you're trying to get good at. And with that, let's get good at some stuff. Alright, lesson 1, step 1, phase 1, whatever you want to call it. You need to have a particular interest in what you're doing. You have to like what you're doing, you have to enjoy it. You have to have some sort of emotional connection so that you can have motivation to do what you want to do. The more interest you have in what you're doing, the more likely you are to get really good at it. Because if you don't have an interest in what you're doing, then when you start doing it and you start realizing that you actually kind of suck at it and that you're not naturally gifted at everything that you do, the interest that you have in it is probably going to be one of the main things that motivates you to keep doing it. If you're watching this video, you probably already have a certain thing that you're specifically interested in learning how to do really well though, and so congratulations, you already have step 1 down. I'm just going to add one more thing. I'm going to call it step 1B, because that's sign language for B. Step 1B is to set a specific goal for what you want to be doing when you're really good at it. If you want to get really good at playing basketball, make your goal to make it into the basketball team at your school. If you want to get really good at playing an instrument, make your goal to perform at like a big crowd audience, like for your school or for your peers, something like that. If you want to get really good at running, set your goal to be to run a marathon within the next couple of years. If you want to get really good at doing this, then make your goal to be just like me. The next step, so step 2 to becoming really good at anything, is to just do it. Like, if you've never done it before, go out and try it. If you've done it before, go and do it again. If you've done it 1,000 times, go and do it 1,000 more times. Because chances are, if you do something enough times, you're probably going to get good at it. Because your brain, the way that your brain works is that the more times you do something, the more natural it becomes. So if you're doing something constantly, whether it be with your body or with your brain, you're gonna get better at it. You've got to immerse yourself in what you do. Honestly, I think that step 2 is the hardest, just because it's really easy for you to tell yourself, oh well, I'm not any good at it, so why would I want to just do it? Because that doesn't really make any sense. But like, if you don't do it, then you're not getting any experience with it, and if you don't have any experience with that, how are you possibly going to get any better at it? Something that I consider very important to step 2 is to join a program of some sort that has what you're doing as a regular thing that you're doing. If you play basketball, join a basketball team. It's a given. If you play football, join a football team. If you play a musical instrument, join a band, a school band, a rock band, a mariachi band, whatever it be. If you want to get really good at running, join cross country. Anything like that makes it so that you have a regular commitment that you're doing this thing every week or every day is going to make you better at what you do, just because you're immersing yourself in what you do. Along with just doing something, there's something, it's going to be unfortunate, but there's something that's going to happen when you start doing things, is that you're going to find things about the thing that you're doing that suck. And so that leads us into step 3, which is don't be afraid of the suck. Because no matter what you're doing, if you're doing something, then there is something about it that sucks. If you're running, it's gonna suck because you can't breathe and all of your muscles hurt all at once. And if you're like building things, then there's probably gonna be some sort of design flaw that sucks, and it makes your building collapse, and then you have rubble everywhere, and you're just sitting there like, why does this have to suck? But then you apply step 3. Don't be afraid of the suck. And so when your building is there in ruins and all you have left to do is just sweep it up, don't let that stop you from keeping on doing it. Keep doing it. So just do it and then keep doing it despite the fact that it sucks. The more that you do things that suck, the more that you're able to apply what you've learned from sucking to make it better. And even if you're not actively thinking about it like, oh, my building fell down because there was a pillar on the second floor that was structurally unsound. It's still, even if you aren't thinking actively about that, something in your subconscious area of your cerebral cortex, I think that's what it's called, is going to make it so the next time you do it, you don't suck as bad. And that if you keep doing it and it keeps sucking, no matter how bad it sucks every single time, you're gonna get better at it just because that's the way that things work when you're doing something constantly. And another thing about sucking is that it leads us right into step 4, which is research what you want to get better at. Because once you realize the things that you suck at, you can look up how not to suck at making bow ties out of tissue paper. And then once you've looked it up, then you can start to look at the things that other people have done and apply all sorts of things that you have researched, and then it's all happy dandy. Watch YouTube videos about it. Like for this video, I went onto YouTube and I googled how. Well, you can't Google anything on YouTube, but I searched how to get really good at anything, and it wasn't so much for me trying to get good at anything. It's for me trying to tell you how to do it. But at the same time, it's kind of like me trying to get really good at making video blogs, which right now I'm kind of not really amazing at, but I'm just doing it, just like step 2, or phase 2, or whatever you want to call that, whatever that was for you. On pretty much all of the videos that I watched about how to become really good at anything, they had a step 5, which was to like associate yourself with people that are good at what you do. But I kind of think that that's all part of the research. Like when you're hanging out with someone that's really good at something, and you show them what you have, it's like, here, this is my suck chest that I created that has all this stuff that sucks. What can I do to make it suck less? And when you do that, it's kind of like the same as asking Google, except this person is there to work with you individually. And so I kind of ball that all into the research, and so that I'm gonna call that step 4B. Oh, see how that worked out? 4B. Whoa, holy crap. So yeah, step 4B is to hang out with people who are better than you at what you're trying to do, because they had to learn how to do it too. So chances are they've been where you've been. They probably sucked at the same stuff that you sucked at when you are doing this thing. And so if they got over it, they can tell you how you can get over it, and you will probably be able to do it faster or better than they did. And once again, it's not necessarily going to be an active thought in your brain, like, this person is good at what they're doing, I'm going to get better at it because of it. It's some weird psychological thing. I don't know why your brain does it, but it just kind of does it, because when you're sharing this energy flow with this person all the time, it kind of makes it so that since the fact that they're really good at doing backflips on skateboards is going to make it so that you're really good at doing backflips on skateboard, and that's just how the brain wants you to do it. And the thing about hanging out with the people that are better than you at what you do is that you can't get discouraged by the fact that they're better than you or by the fact that you suck. It's kind of back into step 3. Once you get moderately good at whatever thing it is that you're doing, you're going to want to apply step 5, which is to start teaching other people what you're doing that are interested in what you're doing. You've got to be someone's step 5. You've got to be that person that someone hangs out with because you're better at it than they are. Once you start doing that for someone else, it makes it so that you gain this personal, deeper understanding of this thing for yourself, and then you're able to explain these things to the other person, and they don't necessarily have that deeper understanding that you have, but they do have an understanding of what they can do to stop sucking so bad. And then you can tell them about the things that you suck at, and you can tell them what you are planning to do or what you have done to suck less at it, and they can do that same thing. And then it still gives you that deeper understanding, and it also gives you a little bit more motivation to keep on going on this track. Step 6 to become really good at anything is to start over, and I know it sounds a little weird, but just think about it with me for a second. Once you've done all the other 6 steps to get really good at something, your motivation has probably gone from this little bubble of motivation to like, boom! Holy crap! I have so much motivation! This is the coolest thing ever! And then when you do that, it makes it so that you want to do it more, because that's like all you think about is this one thing that you're really good at. And then when you start to do it more, it makes it so that you start to suck less. And then when you suck less, it makes it so that you're able to, when you do your research, you actually have to start researching like some in-depth stuff to like fine-tune the little details of what you're doing. and then it makes it so that when you're doing that research, especially if you're participating in a program that has what you're doing, it makes it so that you start to meet new people that are way better than you at it. Not just like, I don't know, your friend in high school who's better at skateboarding than you are, but like Tony Hawk. Like you get to meet Tony Hawk and you get to hang out with him, and it makes you better just by being there. And then when you do that, you're able to learn from what you researched and what you've hung out with people for, and then you apply it to be able to teach to people, and that makes you even better at it, and then your motivation has grown all over again. And so it's just this infinite cycle of just getting good, and you're like on this path to victory, to where you are going to become Neil Peart or Tony Hawk or Michael Jordan or insert legendary figure of whatever you want to do here. So go and get good at some stuff.